Hey everybody, long time no see. Been really busy working, trying to do some organizing in the house, and I still have not got that table. It's become my, uh, I guess you could say my uh, table catch-all. My desk in there. It's got all my crafting stuff on it and all the stuff for my candles. And anyway, so we're not in the witchy room again tonight. Um, I don't know how well this will come out because we have some weather coming in, as most of you probably do. All the snow and that. Also, tonight is the last night for you to do your full moon stuff if you would like to. If you didn't get anything else done. I honestly did not do anything this time. I just didn't. Got too much going on, and honestly, I've just been too tired, too bleh to do it. But that's okay. I still have so much moon water, and I always do a little thing for the goddess of the moon, whoever you might think she is. Mine is Diana and Hecate. But anyway, thought I'd come on here and chat with y'all if anybody's about. I'm going to give you a quick trick about how to make your candles non-drip. Of course, I guess you put them in a bowl, okay, so I need to slow down. Oh, like 2 cups of water. Am I back? Okay. And wait. Okay. If I stop like that, it's because I'm getting this notification that it says my connection's unstable. And so instead of having to go back and redo the whole video, I'll just stop and wait till it comes back on. Okay. So take 2 cups of water and a half a teaspoon of salt and boil it. Now, when your salt's dissolved, that's when and it's a simple mixture. Whatever you can get your candles to lay down in. Now, of course, if you have the larger candles, you may, adjust your recipe for your water and the size of whatever you're putting them in so they can be completely submerged in this. Believe it or not, it works. So after your salt is melted, turn off the heat. You can already have your candles laying in whatever you want to soak them in. Pour your mixture over them and let them sit there for at least 2 hours. Now, of course, when you get them out, you kind of dab them off. The wick, of course, is going to take longer to dry than the wax. So put them somewhere where they can, you can make sure that your wick is good and dry before you use them. You've made them non-stick and you've purified your candles in the process. And now, I'm not saying that you have to do this to all your candles. Some of us, we seal if we're doing a spell, or I'll just say certain spells. I'm not going to sit here and try to think of them right now. Say a petition, for instance. You write your petition on a piece of paper, You fold it in towards you, you do all that, and then you go to seal it. Most of us will seal that with a lit candle and drip wax over it. So therefore you'd want your, a candle to drip. So, I mean, you can just do this to a few of your candles, um, or however you want to do it. But it makes them non-drip. They won't drip all over your um, altar cloths, you know, that and also it's way less expensive than buying the non-drip candles, because I have done that and they are not cheap. I mean, they're not outrageously expensive, but they're more expensive than the ones that. Well, I'm just a cheap ass anyway. I want to, the less it costs, the better it is to me. But um, anyway, uh, also another cute, quick little thing. I'm telling you, salt and vinegar does wonders. And I don't know why I haven't told y'all this before, because I'm not a home remedy show, I guess. But since in witchcraft we use salt so much, um, for different things, even that mainly for protection. But I mean, I just don't know why I haven't at least said the salt ones, because you can take salt and vinegar and put it or put it, mix it together into a paste. Now you don't want, if you have your salt, like just say you get a half a cup of salt, okay? You only want like enough vinegar. I don't even know what the ratio would be to 1 cup, but you could start out like with a tablespoon of vinegar and mix that in with your salt. You don't want it runny, but then you want it thin enough that it will go down your drain. So add a paste. You want to make a runny paste, a thick or a thin paste. Does that make sense? Anyway, you can pour it down your drains, your sinks, your bathtub drains, and it's a natural decloggant, however you want to say that. It will unclog your drains, keep them clear. You can put salt. We already, and I bet most of y'all didn't know this, whenever we put our salt in front of the doors, at the entranceways to your homes for protection, you're also keeping out ants. Ants don't like that. Or any other insect for that matter. Uh, you could now. I realize most everybody isn't going to want a big old pasty mess in front of their doors. And tracking the salt in, from on your shoes, into the carpet and into the rest of the house. That might get annoying, yes. So what you could do is just use salt water, spray it around your doors, with maybe a little bit of lavender that you boiled up. Boil you up some lavender, throw you some salt in it, let it set, pour it in a spray bottle, minus the herb, so it doesn't ruin. Of course, you'll probably use it. I guess you could leave it in there. You'll probably use it before it would ruin. But you could go around and just spray in all your door facings, or the bottom of your doors. However you want to do that. It's just a lot. It's not as messy. You won't have salt tracked all through your house, is what I'm trying to get at. But vinegar and salt, I mean, they're really good for a lot of things if you mix them together. They create like this Well, it's just a really neat mixture. It'll do a lot of things, just like best way to clean your coffee pots with salt. I know in a restaurant we used to work at, we would put some ice, a little bit of salt, and some Tabasco sauce in there, and swish it around in our coffee pots. Um, Most people, I clean my coffee pot with vinegar, but I never thought to put salt in it. Salt gets rid of erosion, but yet salt causes erosion, or salt will build up. It's kind of weird, isn't it? But anyway, um, you can look this stuff up online too. I mean, there's a million ways and things to do with salt, how to use it, and vinegar. I mean, and I just think it's really neat, and because most every witch, no matter what path you're on, uses salt in one form or the other, and for whatever reason. Normally, it's for protection. Uh, I just thought it was neat. Okay, now, oh, gotta stretch. Okay. Now, another title of this video is Don't Be a Mousy Witch. And I don't mean this hateful at all. Uh, please don't take it that way. And questions are very much welcomed. Especially the elder witches, none of us at all mind answering your questions. But come on, guys. Don't message me or email me 50 times a day. A lot of this, I'll just say all of this is your path. Once you know what to do, okay, do it. Create things your way. Okay, I'm trying to think of a really good example of what I'm saying. You don't have to be led, by the nose every second of your craft, even starting out. If one of the elder witches tell you, buy this book, study this book, learn this book, um, it does not mean that you have to do every single thing in that book. It does not mean that defines you or your path. It's an insight to another witch's theory or the way she does things. And you will be doing this your entire lifetime that you're on this path. Even us older witches, when I say you never stop learning, you never stop learning. And it's not that all the concepts are really all the same. They truly are. There's just different routes. It's like if you're going on a trip, you're say you're going from Texas to Washington. Okay. Well, there's a million routes that you could take to get there. Depends on what you want to do in the process. If you want to stop off sightseeing, if you want to go through New Mexico and ski for a few days and then, get off on another highway and go a different direction. And then you want to stop over here. Do you see what I'm trying to say? In the long run, the destination is intended for you to get there however you get there. I mean, you're not going to wake up one morning and decide, I'm going to be a witch, and then poof, by the next morning, you are a witch and you are figuring everything, you have figured it all out. That is never going to happen. Get over that thought. And I do not mind helping. I honestly do not. Please, once again, do not take this wrong. I'm not complaining because people ask me questions. I don't mind answering questions at all. That's what I'm here for. But some of them are getting a little, I don't know what word to use. I don't want to say stupid, mundane. I'll just say they don't really need to be asked. Um, use some common sense. What are you going to do? First of all, I will tell you the one thing you need to know about this craft is you have got to be a strong person. Um, in order for your spells to work, you have got to be able to put that intent out there. You have to mean it and you have to assert it in that direction. No doubt, this is what's going to happen. You make it happen. You cannot sit there and go, okay, well, I think, okay, this should be for protection, please. And you know what I'm trying to say. Don't be mousy. You're a witch. Even if you're a beginning learning witch, the best thing you can do is learn how to command. That's what this is. You are commanding. And I mean now. I want this now. This is going to happen now. This has already happened. You see what I'm saying? You have got to be secure in your own self. If you're not concerned, if you're not secure within yourself, then you are not going to be able to put that determination and that willpower out into the ethers. It's not going to come out. It's going to be like a little whimper on the wind and just fades away, gone forever. When as if you stand out there and you yell it and you mean it, you go straight up there. This is what you want to do. And once again, I am not. Please don't take this wrong. I don't want to get 100 things. Well, we just don't ask you anything anymore. I'm just way too old for that, and I don't have time for it, frankly. Go on about your merry way. Figure it out however you want to. Go bother another witch. I don't know what to tell you, but and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm saying figure it out. You don't understand that a lot of this path is figuring your own self out, who you are, what you were made of, what resonates with you, plumb from the tip of your fingernails to the very soul that drives you. So what works for one person isn't going to work for you more than likely. You're going to have similarities, but nobody is exactly alike, nor is any witch exactly alike. I don't think any of us do things the exact certain ways. Now, as I've said before, there are things that I just don't bend on and will never, and I don't even want to be around people that would try to change the elements up. Stuff like that, stuff that is set in stone. But there's very few things that are. In order to be a witch, you have to have the willpower, you have to have the confidence, you have to know what you want, you have to be able to will it. Yeah. So do some exercises on yourself before you want to get on this path. This path can be and is for everyone, or could be. Some people aren't meant to be on it. Don't force yourself, because if you do that and you haven't got it mastered, or at least partially figured out to where you can function on the path, then you're fake. Yeah. You're not only fake in our community, and we will figure you out. The true, real witches will spot you instantly. And we know the difference between somebody that's trying and trying to learn than somebody that gets on there and just thinks they know it all already. Okay? So don't try to put anything past us. The best thing you can possibly do is be honest with yourself and us. Don't make yourself stay on the path. Yes, to most people, what leads them to this path is that they think it's mysterious, or that they may become rich, because they can make anything happen. Well, there's a balance to keep in check there. So just remember, you need to be humble. Yes, have what you need to survive. Maybe things that'll make you happy in your everyday life, whatever that might be. But don't get greedy, because the gods and goddesses and the ethers don't like greed. And that shouldn't even be why you want to get on the path in the first place. If you get into witchcraft thinking, well, this is going to make me rich, I'm going to be rich. Well, you've already entered in thinking the wrong way, because that is not more than likely what's going to happen. If you are a true witch, your main objective, your main priority is to watch this out for this earth. Okay. Some witches may tell you different. This is me, and this is what I'm saying. I want this earth taken care of. I want these animals taken care of. I want the plants taken care of. Then I worry about myself. Because, once again, without those things, we do not exist. So it's our job to take care of that. It's every human being walking's job, but even more so a witch, because we are very much more connected than most normal people. When we ground ourselves, what do you think is grounding us? This very earth that we walk on, that people are putting poisons in and destroying, with bombs and pollution. The water that moves our emotions, polluted, that takes care of our fish. Everything that has every much right to be here, just like we do. That is your main job as a witch. Okay? Get that through your head. I get so tired. Most of the witches that I watch, and I'm on here a lot because I get bored, and it makes me feel closer to the witch community whenever I'm at least listening to somebody that thinks or feels the same way I do. Very, very rarely do I ever hear them mention our animals or Earth herself and what we're doing to help her. We want. We conjure, but we don't ever think about give back to her. What are you doing, to assure that this world will continue healthy, and will be healthy. I'm not going to preach, because it really does depress me that I don't think that the witches, they're too caught up in their own little things, and some of them may think about it, but I don't think that they're as in tune as they should be as far as witches go. And it doesn't matter what path you're on. If you're Luciferian, if you're a Christian witch, which I still don't understand, but that's not up for me to understand. A pagan witch, just a witch, whatever you classify yourself as. Most of them are nature-based. So without that, where is our religion at all? You know? I don't know. I'm just saying. We need to help her out, and that's what we're here for. It's not always all about what we can do for ourselves. In fact, that's the least of the things, And a lot of times that may not be, it may be why some of your spells don't don't go forward. I don't know. But I feel guilty, and I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty either. Do as you will. But for me, I just, if I go in there, like say if I'm standing in front of my goddess Hecate, there's times that I'm just embarrassed to go in front of her because I don't have anything to offer her as an offering that I think's good enough. I'll just put it that way. And I know that's not the way it should be, but I just feel like, a lot of times there's things I want to ask her about and talk to her about and um, uh, maybe even ask for. But I just feel terrible when I do that. I don't know why. I guess I'm just not a selfish person. Yes, I can live pretty simple. Now I'm like anybody else, especially a witch. I get on Amazon and I could get in trouble really quick because I do like to buy stuff, my witchy stuff. But that's not anybody else's fault but my own for not having self control. But anyway, uh, if I haven't done a ritual that week to her, or if I haven't um, honored one of her Sabbats, or you know something like that, I feel terrible, and I honestly beat myself up really bad because it's like I'm an elder witch. um, these things should just come second nature to me, and I should be in there doing them. But to be honest, here lately, I feel like if I don't have anything good to say to her, I don't need to go to her. And I don't mean that came off wrong. I don't want to go to her griping and complaining anymore, um, or asking for things. That's not what she's all there for. And uh, eventually, if I'm telling you, if you keep doing all this stuff, they will turn their backs on you. And we sure don't want that. Because without them, we're pretty much powerless without their aid. I don't care what anybody says. In this form we're in right now, in this human body, we are limited, unfortunately. But anyway, and I'm not saying y'all should feel bad. I'm just talking to y'all about here lately how I've been feeling. And then you've got the witches that I honestly don't have a real good excuse either. I mean, there's witches that have young children and a husband and and a job, and same way I used to be. And I always found time for it, somehow or another. But here lately, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, guys. Have I just gotten lazy in my old age? Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting bored doing the same spells, and um, but I guarantee you, what I figured out is if you keep working on yourself, you should never get bored. Because I guarantee you there's always something you can work on or fix or get rid of, which is also what shadow work is. And maybe altar with every candle I own lit and every incense going doesn't mean that I'm not doing shadow work. You can do that anywhere. Actually, a form of shadow work is when you could be, I don't know, say sitting in a meeting that you're supposed to be listening to, or in a lecture in class that you're supposed to be listening to. And you know how your mind will wander off and you may be sitting there going, oh, I really need to clean my closet out. I need to quit being so unorganized. I need to get that closet cleaned out. I wouldn't have been late to class this morning if I could have found my shirt that I wanted to wear because it was supposed to have been hanging there and I didn't do it this time. It goes on, the thought process. And before you know it, you haven't listened to a stinking thing that professor has stated or been lecturing on. Because all of a sudden, that is actually a form of shadow work. When you're correcting yourself. Some people have shadow work down as something different. I don't know where they got that idea, and I'm not even going to say what it is because I don't care. That's not my idea for it, and I'm not even going to go there. But anyway, yeah. Oh, I was going to show y'all a couple of things too. I'll be right back. Okay. I was going to show y'all a couple of my presents I got here. Of course, I get one of these every year. This is the calendar I use every year if I find a way to afford it, trust me, and they're not that expensive. This is what I get. And they're really neat. They have all different pictures on every month. And they have little spells that go with them. See over here? Beside each picture on each month, you have a spell or an incantation and a little bit of history. They're informative and pretty, the perfect witch's calendar and big enough for an old crone like me to see. I also, because I like to read the stuff with it, I usually try to get one of these every year. Can you see it? And these are really informative. I mean, I don't even know what to. It's got enhancing your magical practice ideas, um, finding your sacred place, halos and their pagan origins. Ooh. Okay. I usually don't do this. I don't read, but I'm going to read this. This is interesting. Okay. Halos, like a halo, Halos began as a pagan art form. From the very beginning, halos were used by ancient artists to help depict the divine power possessed by a god or goddess, or by a holy and powerful human. Now I am reconnecting again. I hope y'all heard that. It just came on and said reconnecting. Damn. Halos began as usually round or oval. They may have appeared as a disc, a radiant light, or as rays. But halos were always positioned around, behind, or just above the head of the subject. Due to their association with paganism, Christian artists avoided using halos until the 4th or 5th century CE. See, I didn't even know that. If it wasn't for pagans, Christianity wouldn't have any symbols, would they? Any holidays. I mean, they were all, what they did is pretty much took all the pagan ideas, the pagan ways, the pagan holidays, and changed them over into Christian. They altered them to where it suited their religion, but they were still pagan. I never knew the halo was pagan. Started out as pagan. The first people that used halos in their artware were the ancient Egyptians. The Egyptians used a solid coppery red disc shape to represent a halo. To the Egyptians of the ancient world, this disc-shaped halo had deep meaning. It represented the life-giving sun. And it goes on. I'm not going to read all of it. Hey, Turkish princess. I was talking about the halo. Did you know the halo originally began as pagan? Yeah. And then, of course, I got this. This is kind of just like an extra thing I got. I don't usually get this every year. It's just a notebook with Hecate on it. It's just a plain, clear, flat out notebook. Yeah. Very info in the new. How else it goes? Well, I haven't. They're not. They're back to normal now. I mean, that night they were just active as hell, weren't they? Yeah. Yeah, I did I started this video. I put some information up there if you want to go back and watch it. I'm not going to repeat it all, but it may help you out. What were you scared about? I wasn't scared. They don't normally, sometimes now I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I've had a few that kind of made me go, scared me a little bit. Because it's not very often that I have to deal with a real tacky spirit. But they have been known to come around me, so. But no, they're normal now. I mean, I always feel them here, but they are usually pretty quiet and doing their own thing, whatever that is. Except for earlier, I heard I swear it sounded like my arm wire fell over. It was so loud, and I mean, my whole house shook for a minute. And I even looked it up online real quick. This is moon incense. I'll show you what it looks like. I don't have those in the box anymore. Let me get the box. Yeah, that's what it is. Can you see it? It's from Hem, Hem. It's usually where I get all my uh, incense from. Yeah, it's that's what I usually burn during the 3 days of the full moon, because that's what it's there for. So what have you been up to, Madame? Oh my God, I weighed myself the other day. Dr. Pepper, I'm a pepper. Oh, what are you cooking? I'm about to be. I'm going to make a stew for tomorrow, and I've got my meat soaking in the tenderizer and the seasonings. What are you cooking? And with that face there, I don't know. Oh, chicken stir fry. Cool. What time is it where you're at? You're silly. You're funny. A cigarette. What are you smoking? Oh, wow. So you're 8 hours ahead of me because it's 3:30 here. So you're making lunch, huh? Oh, not here. We got snow and ice on the way. Bleh. Oh yeah, I got one more thing to show. I Besides my Llewellyn calendar that I get every year, I already showed y'all. I got a cute little kitten calendar for Christmas. Of course, it's still got the cellophane on it, so it's all shiny. It has all kinds of cute little kitten pictures on it. Isn't it cute? I think it's adorable. Okay. Your peppers are burning. Don't burn them peppers. I'll talk to you another time then. Thank you. Yeah, I like my cats. My kittens. But yeah, I get these, at least the book, um, and a calendar every year. My pepper drinks. I will. See you later, sweetie. Thank you for saying hello. Yeah, the almanac just kind of gives you ideas too, you know. Um, and it has its own little calendar in here that you can write stuff in. I just love it. Um, and it's not, and they have all different kinds of things. It's just not one path of witchcraft. Um, like here's one, tantric kundalini serpent rising spell. And to be honest with you, until here recently, I had never heard of kundalini. I just never had. Um, but this has really a whole lot of information. If you can get one of these, get one. Seriously, it has a whole lot of useful information and things that every witch should know. Um, as with anything else, if it doesn't pertain to your practice or if it doesn't resonate with you, just skip on, read on, go to something else. I guarantee you, there's a lot that everybody can get out of this book. See, like it's got an article, Mandrake or Mayapple, Defining Magic and Failing. I mean, you got stuff from Italy, France, Mexico, and the Americas, the British Isles, Germany, Celtic, Europe, Northern Europe, Greece. It's just full of information. I get one every year, and I keep them. When the next year floats along, I don't get rid of it. I keep it. I think last year either I didn't get one. I think last year's the only year I missed. I don't think I got one. I went to look for it the other day, but that's very unusual for me. I must really not have been able to afford it. And it's not even that expensive, but when things are bad, they're just bad. And things like this, unfortunately, aren't a necessity in my world. I think they're a must, but I could live without it if I had to, but I don't want to. So anyway, I got those, and now see my problem whenever I get a book like this, it's so pretty and handy. I'm like, okay, now I'll have this thing for a year or maybe even two, probably, before I figure out what I want to put in here. Because I don't want it ruined. I want to keep it. So I want to make sure that I know what I want to put in there. And these kind of pages aren't the kind that you can just tear out. See how they're put in there? So I'm going to have to really figure out what I want to put in this book. I could use it as a journal, but it's not very thick. It's thick enough, but it's not what I would consider a journal. But I just love it. Well, probably because it has Hecate on it, but yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do with it. That's something different. I don't get that every year. My boyfriend got that for me. So, well, he got me all this stuff. He usually does every year, but anyway, I really like it, and so now I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with it. Anyway, I don't know what else to talk about. So, unless anybody's on here and just wants to chat with me, I'll probably go on down the road. I said what I really came on here to say about don't be a, a whiny witch. And I understand that and I'm not saying, there are times that people get depressed. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about don't be a lazy witch. Do your own research. Um, that you will honestly, if you don't get out and do your own research, go on your own little nature hikes, discover things, get close to nature. Like I said in my earliest videos, when you're first stepping on this path, if you skip those steps, I guarantee you're going to be lost. All you're going to be doing is following other witches every move. That does not make it your path. That makes you a follower. So figure out who you are inside, what you want out of the path, which way resonates within you the best, that you can understand and reason with, and then go for it. And no harm in asking questions. That is not what I'm saying. I don't want to hear a bunch of people say, well, I can't believe you told them not to ask questions. That's not what I'm saying. And when people say there's no such thing as a dumb question, when I've answered that same question 4 or 5 times to the same person, it gets stupid. It gets redundant. And it makes me feel that this person is either making fun of me or just seeing how far they can push me, or I don't know. It starts making me think other things about that person. So don't ask the same damn questions over and over. Do your own research. There's 100 books out there. There's millions of books out there. No, I don't mind answering a question. But whenever I say go and sit at your altar with your candles and talk to them, talk to your goddess, do that. Don't ask me, well, what am I supposed to say to her? You've got to have your own brain. If you don't need to be a witch. Okay. You can get ideas how other witches doing things, but I guarantee you more than likely you will not be the exact same way that witch is. I mean, I've been a witch for a long time. And to be honest, and like I said 100 times before, until I started getting on YouTube and listening to some of the other witches, I had no idea that some of this stuff was out there. I had never heard of it. I sure don't practice that way. And not saying it's bad. It's something that I never done, never even thought of doing. I probably, unfortunately, have kind of gotten stuck into a certain way of doing things, and that they work for me, and that's how I do them. Although, when another witch has a pretty damn good idea, then I'm like, oh, okay, that might work for me, But yeah, do your own work. And something as petty, once again, you don't have to go in there and create a spell for every single little bitty thing. Okay? If you're having trouble with your damn husband, before you go light that pink candle and do whatever you think you need to do to rectify this, have you tried talking to him or her? Have you tried that first? Have you tried figuring out the issue or the problem, whatever's blocking y'all, in between you? Magic is a tool. It's a tool. It is not meant to take the place of normal common sense, okay? And it won't. If you try doing that kind of crap, you're going to screw things up so bad you can't fix them, and probably no other witch can either. So it would take you more energy to go in there, get all your stuff together, pick out your candles you need and your herbs, and do your meditation before you do a spell or an incantation or whatever you're going to do to fix this. And then the time it takes to sit there and put that into motion, you're looking at what, at least an hour between prep time and finish, when it may have only taken you 15 minutes to go and speak to this person. Um, what's wrong? Is there something you need to talk about? Is there something we need to discuss? Now, honestly, if any of y'all know me, I am not one for love spells. I'm not going to say I don't believe in them. I just don't. I don't do them. I don't recommend them. And I don't mind telling you why. And it's not because I'm Wiccan and I'm mending somebody's will. I could care less about that. But what it is think about how you would feel. And I probably said this before too. Say you're married to someone, okay, and you're all happy, not a thing going wrong, okay. You're sitting there one day and you get to thinking, this isn't real. None of this is real. I created this. None of it's real. This is magic. That's the only reason we're together, is because of magic. It's not natural connection. It's been forced. You want to go through a relationship feeling that way? When there's somebody out there, more than likely, that would have fit you better than what you're with now. I'll tell you, and especially as a young girl, when we're growing up, we're teenagers and we meet that first guy and the love bug hits us for the first time. I remember exactly it hit me. And this man, and he was a man, he was like 8 years older than me. I want to say 5 to 8 years older than me. But I was just head over heels. From the moment I laid eyes on him, I wanted that man. I was just all dreamy. And let me tell you, this man was probably the worst man I could have developed a crush on out of everybody in the entire world. Yeah. He was not, well, he just wasn't one of those people that, well, he did a lot of drugs. His whole life was just a shit show. He wasn't stable. Anyway, he was just very much so not somebody I needed to be involved with. And of course, they knew that too. And even when we would have times together, that little brain, that little voice in my head was like, what are you doing around him? He's trouble. That little bird that's telling you, no, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be around them. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. The voice that a lot of us should listen to a lot of times, and we don't, which is no, this is our higher self. That's who's trying to keep you safe. And we don't listen. We go on and do what the hell we want to do, and we learn the hard way. Unfortunately, humans are like that. They have to learn the hard way or they're not going to learn. Same as this Pat. I guarantee you, you're not going to step on it one day and have it figured out. None of us have it figured out. I don't care how old of a witch you are. There's always something else to learn. It's not ever mastered. So I don't think it is. And anybody, any witch that says they have this mastered, they're out and out lying. You never have it mastered. The wisdom that goes into this is so infinite that even we cannot understand it. We are not set up that way. I'll just put it that way. I was going to use a different term, but I better not, because I don't want to have a whole damn argument with the whole witch community. There's always something to learn. You never stop till the day you die, till you cannot, your brain does not function anymore, and there's no way for it to learn. So therefore, all we can do is pass knowledge on along as we learn it, right? To maybe make the way or pave the way for another generation coming up. That's what the elder witches, I think most of us try to do, is pass it on, pass on the craft. And whenever I say that it's not just about the magic, that's what I mean. It's not about just creating things for yourself. It's for keeping everything around you safe. You are the protector. You're the guardian. It is up to you. People say, well, what can I do about it? These poor animals are getting slaughtered, or whatever abuse is going on. Well, I guarantee if you sit and think about it long enough, and it probably won't take you very long, you can figure out something to do about it. That's your job as a witch. That's most people's job as a human being. I understand some people just aren't built that way. They don't even think about what's around them. They've got blinders on. They go in a straight line, and they have one focus and one goal, and that's all they see. Okay. They don't care what they're stomping around, beside them. If the relationships are going to shit, if their kids don't know them, they know, they come in around them, and that's mom or dad, but they don't hardly ever see them. They don't hardly ever talk, because this person has this one goal in mind, and that's it. That's selfish. That's selfish to the family. That's selfish to yourself, because you're not allowing yourself to be loved and enjoy what life's really about. Yes, we all need money. Unfortunately, that's what makes the world go round. But there are so many more things more important. What's going to happen? Say you're rich, and we go into an apocalypse. Goddess forbid, but that we do, and that money's not going to do you a damn bit of good. It's not going to do you any good at all. What you're going to bargain with is water, food, your word, the people around you that you have either befriended or turned them against you. These are the very people that are going to be watching your back in case some crap happens. I understand that mankind's goal is to see what how important they can become in their lifetime, and now, and I'm not talking about like scientists and To me, I'm sorry, but scientists and witches are the same. It's just called something different, you know. Um, the scientists that are living at the moment, they're going about figuring out what we already know in a long roundabout way. Just if you watch some of the science shows, I watch them on YouTube about so and so discovered this and that. Well, we already knew that existed. Um, a lot of us maybe not be able to tell you exactly how it came about, but we've been using that same thing for thousands of years, hundreds of years. Um, we already knew about it. We just could not put a finger on exactly how it occurred or how it might happen. But witches are scientists. I just fully believe that, and they always have been. Um, the same as figuring out that the herbs, what they were good for, and how they help things. They had to have been doing a lot of experimenting, a lot of per se lab work to figure that out. Um, I guess what it boils down to is the simple fact that witches just aren't around to create things for themselves. And it's not always all about material things. It is about the preservation of life and not just our own, not just human, everything around us. Um, I there's certain shows I can't watch because I honestly get so upset, depressed, and mad all at once that I just can't stand myself. So I just don't watch them. Um, I may do a chant or spell for it, but I don't. I know that I just feel alone. I feel that nobody else gives a damn what's happening to our mother, this earth. Um, and so here lately, I just, I have fought for years and years, um, trying to get things to change and people to change, and I've just come to the conclusion that it's not going to happen. Mankind is on a destructive path, and it's leading to one destination: total annihilation, because they're too damn ignorant to figure it out. I don't care how much money you can make. You can run a corporation, but you ain't got the common sense enough to know that that plant that just built you that $1 million home is also putting out thousands and thousands of gallons of pollution in our air every single day. You don't care about it. What about if you don't even care about everybody else around you? What about your own blood? What about the people that are going to be coming up behind you? Your great grandchildren, your great great grandchildren. Do you want them to live with a stigma? Hey, it was my dad, one of them, that, pretty much annihilated the world with his pollution. It was my fifth great grandpa that brought destruction. Do you really want them to have to live with that? I just don't see how people cannot think about it. And that's why they're so busy out there making that almighty dollar that they're not stopping to think about what they're doing. They don't care. They don't care. As long as, it's going to make them rich and make mankind even more lazy than we already are, so be it, So, anyway, that's why I don't talk about that stuff. Because I will go on a rant and it does no good. You know, I don't see anybody here lately. Um, and I guarantee you, this is what's going on with this virus. Piss the gods off. See what happens. And just about the time that we think we've got this and figured out, what? What pops up all of a sudden already? 2 more identical to it across the seas. I'm in America. So across the seas. Now there are 2 more different strains of this same virus. Okay? This ought to be telling you something. This is going to be here for a reason. And when it's done with its job, whatever it's put here to do, then it will go away. And not until then. I'm not saying don't protect yourself. Be smart about it. I shouldn't even have to say that. Yes, wash your hands. Don't get right up in somebody's face. The same precautions that you should be using every single day of your life, not just when a pandemic's going around. These are healthy hygiene. It's healthy hygiene. Okay. You don't spit at people. You don't sneeze on people. Cover your mouth when you sneeze, when you cough. Things that you've been told to do since you were a child, if you had parents that had any sense at all. You know, I mean, it's common sense. Anyway, I'm not the World Health Organization. I'm not the smartest person on the face of the earth, but I'm damn sure not the dumbest. Okay. So anyway, everybody, please stay safe. Don't breathe all over people. Don't go out partying, with a whole bunch of people. Do what, try to keep distance. Wear your mask. If nothing else, to protect yourself, and I will see y'all another time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.